The most confusing as well as interesting era in South Korean history was World War II up until the 1980s. After World War II, Japan was forced to give back Korea and all the surrounding territory that it had claimed. With the Allied powers being politically different countries, it was no surprise that there were some disagreements. The disagreement that affected South Korea, however, involved the United States and the Soviet Union. The two countries could not agree on how Korea would be governed. The U.S. acted first, and in 1948 decided to create a pro-American democratic government in Seoul. That government would be led by Syngman Rhee. In response to this, the Soviet Union gave power to North Korea by setting up a communist regime in Pyongyang. This regime would be led by Kim Il-sung. Due to the two conflicting sides having different views, a volatile situation was created between the North and South. This conflict led to a war that never really ended. That would be the Korean War. The Korean War was a fight between two bigger forces who used smaller countries to do the dirty work. The Korean War started on June 25th, 1950, and signified the start of the Cold War. In the beginning, 75,000 North Korean soldiers went over the 38th parallel, which is the boundary between the pro-American South and Soviet-backed North. In July of that year, American troops entered the war on behalf of South Korea due to the North's threat to the Western world. One of America's main concerns was that if North Korea took over South Korea, that communism would quickly spread. Throughout the war, a total of 5 million soldiers and civilians lost their lives. The conflict ended due to a ceasefire that was declared in July of 1953. Despite this ceasefire, both countries remained in a constant state of armed truce. Now that we have a good portion of the war talk over, let's discuss republics. After South Korea had declared independence from North Korea, they established their first independent government on August 15, 1948. This new government was called the First Republic. This form of government lasted until 1960 when it was overthrown. The government was overthrown after General Chun Doo-han placed the country under strict military rule. Due to this strict rule, there was an armed uprising by students and other citizens in Gwangjang-ju. This uprising was to restore democracy. In response to this uprising, the government did away with civilian political activism, extended martial law, banned all and closed all universities. Later that year in August, Chun Doo-han was elected president. While in office, Chun Doo-han created a new constitution in which the president was limited to one 7-year term. This was the start of the Fifth Republic. If you want to learn more about South Korea, I suggest you subscribe to us. Subscribing is free and should notify you when we upload a video.